Good morning, everyone. My name is Archibald Gordon, and I'm Director of Marketing and Communications here at the Caribbean Maritime University. And we're delighted to welcome you to the third session in the Getting Ready series. This morning, we'll be talking about the dress code as well as online platforms such as Moodle, the LMS, the Learning Management System, and our email system as well. And I'm very delighted to have you here this morning. As I was saying earlier, before we started the recording, this is an opportunity for you to be able to hear, to have your questions answered, to learn more about the Caribbean Maritime University. And it's a range of different people who have been invited. Some of you are in draft, some of you are just, you still have exams, results waiting on. Some are just interested generally, and we've sent it to all of you so that you can learn more about the Caribbean Maritime University. So what are we going to be who are you going to be hearing from this morning? You're going to be hearing from Mrs. Cheryl Hilton Hibbert, who will have Dean of Discipline. She'll have our first presentation. And then you'll be hearing from Mr. Mark Lee, who is the Manager of Business Process and User Experience in the Office of Digital Transformation here at the Caribbean Maritime University. So you have two short presentations. Please make your notes. You can put questions in the chat or any of that as you go along, because they're not just representatives from those departments here, but representatives from faculty, from the treasury, etc. And where people are not here from those particular departments or faculties, it's because they're either involved in registration activities which are taking place today, or they're solving other problems. But you can still put those questions in the chat and they go and find somebody for you. So after we've had those two short presentations, first from Mrs. Hilton Hibbert, and then from Mr. Lee, we're going to open the floor for questions. Your questions can be in relation to those presentations. And then, but outside of that, your questions can be in relation to any find out about registration, you want to find out about your application, etc. If you've been asking questions since last week and some of those responses are delayed, it's because the people in this meeting are the same people who are going through your applications, responding to individual emails, and it's a lot of emails. They're also coming, it's the end of the term, so there's marking, there's a lot taking place. There's preparation for the summer, there's preparation for September. So there's a lot taking place. So it's one of the reasons we wanted to convene this session where you can ask all of the questions that you want. So ask your questions, but bear that in mind as well. It's not because we are not interested, it's just that there's a lot to manage. So we wanted to have a little patience with us. But one of the reasons we had this session is so that you could have the opportunity to ask your questions directly and understand that we are interested, and we want to have you on this journey with us at the CMU, because the CMU was created for you. That is our purpose. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Mrs. Cheryl Hilton Hibbert to share her screen. I'm sure she has a presentation. And when she has completed that presentation, I will come back and invite Mr. Lee to share his presentation. And again, you can put any question in the chat in relation to the presentation or any matter in the meantime, and we'll find somebody to answer your questions. And if you can't find somebody right now because they're involved in some sort of activity, we will make a note of it and respond later. So now over to Mrs. Cheryl Hilton Hibbert, Dean of Discipline.
Good morning, everyone. Am I being heard, and is my screen being seen? Can somebody confirm?
Hearing you clearly and seeing your screen.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so good morning and a special welcome to our incoming students. I heard Mr. Gordon said that some persons are just here out of curiosity, but I'm going to speak it into being, and I am going to call you all prospective incoming students. First of all, let me say congratulations on choosing the Caribbean Maritime University. I truly believe that you would have made an excellent decision. And as you begin what I'm calling your new journey with us, you will come to appreciate the values and opportunities that you will find here at the CMU. Now, this morning's presentation is not simply about dress code and grooming. It is really about professionalism, identity, and representation. So as you join the CMU family, you are joining an institution that stands for discipline, excellence, and professionalism. I know when persons hear about dress code and grooming, they oftentimes think that we are trying to stifle identity and expression. And I'm sure many of you may be thinking, why is it that at a university level, we have to be uniformed? I thought that was for the high school. But the standards that we uphold there at the CMU, it's not meant to stifle you or to prevent you from expressing yourself. Quite on the contrary, these standards, they are really intended to help you to prepare for that professional environment where presentation and conduct and first impression matters. So I always like to say to students that long before a person speaks, their appearance often introduces themselves. So the way we present ourselves can communicate confidence, discipline, self-respect, and readiness for opportunities. So as we go through these standards this morning, I encourage you not to view them as restrictions, but rather as a part of the process of preparing you to represent yourself and your institution well. So let's get ready. All right, so grooming guidelines. And as I said before, I would have alluded, and I'm sure you know, that CMU is one of the most unique, if not the most unique university in Jamaica. And we are set apart from the rest, and we are a uniformed university. So what are our guiding or grooming guidelines? Let me just zoom this up. And I have this as my first slide because more and large, this is how we are expecting our professional students to appear. And so this is our general uniform guide. So we have for males and females, and I'm going to go in greater detail, but I just want you to see the image here, as this is how we would expect you to look. So all students, you will wear an epaulette according to your respective faculties. You would see it here. You would have to wear what we call an insignia, a name tag, your ID, and there is a part of the best that you wear. And when you come to the registration process, all of these will be on display, and you will see them in real time, and you will get a better perspective. So this is how we would want you to appear, nice and clean and crisp. And I'm going to go in further details as it relates to the requirement. You see, I have at the topic, I do not have guiding standards. I have professional appearance standards for females. And it says all skirts, and I should have put that all in full cap, must be worn at the center of the knee or 2 inches below the center of the knee. Now you can put it further if you want to go 3 or 4 inches, but you should not go above the required guidelines, right? So females, ladies, 2 inches above the knee. And remember, you have the option of wearing a skirt or a pants. And for those who choose the skirt option, it has to be finished with a pair of black stockings. So 2 inches below the center of the knee, all right? And that is for the females. Now, items not aligned with CMU standards. Notice I did not say items that are prohibited, but the standards that we have at CMU when you are attired in your uniform, these are not aligned with the standards that we have. And so nose rings, we are not expecting you to be wearing nose rings to school. And several times the female might say, Miss, but can I put a Band-Aid over it? The answer is no. Miss, can I wear the clear one? The answer is no. Nose rings are not allowed whatsoever once you are in your CMU uniform. And notice I did not say once you are on the campus. I said once you're in uniform. So once you're getting ready in the morning, and some person, sometimes they come on campus and they say, oh, Miss, I forget it. I went somewhere last night. Look in the mirror before you leave in the morning. So once you're in that uniform that says professional, that uniform that says standards, double check to ensure that everything is in order. Facial piercings, not while in uniform, and smileys, not while in uniform, not aligned with the CMU standards, any at all. Necklaces, and this one is a major thing. So no necklaces are allowed in your uniform, even if you button up the shirt, push it in the shirt, tuck it down, no necklaces in your uniform. No bracelets, none of the little cute charm bracelets, matter how cute they are, not allowed, not aligned with the CMU standards at all. No anklets. Some females say, Miss, but the stocking is black and it's not showing. No, man, we have laser eyes. We can see. So absolutely no anklets while you are in uniform. Hair standards. Now, I know that there's a popular trend in Jamaica where the females braid their hair down to their toe, down to their ankle. Whilst it looks very nice and it's probably the trend, unfortunately, it does not align with the CMU standards. And notice I'm going to be repeating aligned with the CMU standards because persons have different standards. But when we're talking about the CMU and the professional image and the look that we need, it does not align. So your hair is not supposed to exceed your upper pelvic. And you see that red X, and I would have found pictures that I'm hoping would clearly give the guideline as to what I am saying. So ladies, I would encourage you, if you are going to get braids, just put it at the correct length. Don't bother put it far and you have to wrap it up and it drop down and miss it, it can't stay up. And no, just put it at the standard so that all times you are in league and in line with what is expected. And of course, you would see where I have the red tick, where I'm saying that these lengths are quite okay and quite aligned with the CMU standard. And this one too, the earring standard. So you are allowed, let me zoom in my screen. You are allowed to wear 2 pairs of earrings in each ears on the lobe. So you notice where the earrings are. So you are allowed either 2 knobs, 2 small knobs, or a knob and a hoop. 2 small hoops, so not the big ones. Not allowed, not aligned. Over here I have the X, and I have the X and all the parts. I want you to pay attention to the different sections that there are earrings. Those are not allowed. And I really want to say at this point, because we have had several challenges, the ladies will come and they will say, Miss, it can't come out. Well, if it can't come out, then that is going to be a serious problem. Or they will say, Miss, I have to go back to the person who put it in. And if it come out, it's going to bleed. Just stick to these on this side. If you stick to these, we will not have to have any conversation of that sort because this aligns with the CMU standard. These do not. You're not allowed to wear 2 hoops either. So these are the standard. This is what is acceptable. Everybody has a smartphone now. You will get it in your packages. But in case you need to be reminded, you can take a quick screenshot so that when you're going to wherever you're going to get your ears pierced, for those who may not be pierced as yet, you will see and know where it is that you're not supposed to pierce. All right, ladies? All right, and this one now, nail standards. So there is a popular trend where the nails are as tall as, what should I say, the tallest bridge, and they are as bright as the brightest color in the rainbow. And then on top of being very, very long and very, very bright, then some females go ahead and put some bedazzle on it, you know, some pearls on it and some glitters on it. Please, please bear in mind that brightly colored nails, they do not align with the CMU standards. We prefer those on the nude side. You can wear a nice French tip. That is quite acceptable. Remember, at all times, we are aiming for that professional look, for that professional image, for that clean, crisp image so that when others see you, they would want to emulate and to come to the CMU as well. So when you are going out on the weekend, you can be the dullest of dullies that is in the pack. But when you return to us on a Monday morning, we expect to see that CMU standard shining very bright. And there are several females who would say, but Miss, I just got my nails done. You have to wipe them off, you have to remove them. So to prevent all of that back and forth, I often encourage students, just stay within the right and do what is right, all right? So professional appearance, males, in case you think I was only going to be talking about the females, I am now coming to you. So pants, I'm going to read this first bullet in its entirety. So pants will be fitted with an allowance of at least 1 inch leg room, which means, gentlemen, that we're not expecting you to make your pants be as tight as a tights. In case of an emergency, you must can run and you must can go up the stairs comfortably. So please, we're asking you that as you prepare to be a part of a set-aside university, that men, you allow your pants not to be too tight. And earrings for males, it's a no, no, no. And what that means is that you do not put in your earrings at home and then remove them when you get to the gates. No, it means that once you put on your uniform, gentlemen, that then earrings are not supposed to be a part of your professional image and appearance. So some general hair standards, and this is where we often have the issues with the gentlemen, is with their hair. So hair must be properly groomed at all times, and notice the all is capitalized and is capitalized for a reason. Your hair must be clean. It must be in its natural color. So gentlemen, no coloring of the hair. No ear accessories, no carvings or design in the ear, eyebrow. Let me pause at the eyebrow section. You can't cut up your eyebrow and then put a bandage over it. You're not supposed to have any carvings in your eyebrow at all. Hair should not be falling in the face or around the ears, and I will show you a photograph as it relates to that. And this goes for females and males. Your hair must not be obscuring, and it means it must not be blocking your epaulets, your insignia, or your name tag. There's one thing that I forgot to say as it relates to the females, as I'm speaking about the males, is that you're only allowed to wear hair in its natural color. So the blue, the pink, the purple, the orange, the green, ladies, those are not allowed. All right? So gentlemen, let me bring it home for you. You have 4 options as it relates to hairstyles. The regular trim, and I must say this is my personal preference. But I'm sure everybody, we're not all the same. But if I was to say, I love this. I love this nice, clean look, right? Hair must be neatly groomed at all times. Afro or puff, and then there are the gentlemen who, yes, you want a little more on your hair, on your head, and that's totally fine because this as well is nice and clean as well. You would notice where the X is. So you are not allowed to what we call mat or to sponge it. So if you choose, gentlemen, to go for the afro or the puff, you are only allowed 2 inches in height. So no taller than 2 inches. So you can't come with your ear ragga and flying all over the place. And then you say to the dean of discipline, boy, miss me stress out and miss me this and miss me that. No, if you're choosing this option, you're only allowed 2 inches in height. And as I said, it must not include any type of coloring. It must not include any type of accessories, and it must not be sponged. Please pay attention to the tickies. All of us know what ticky is, and pay attention to the rang bang. All of us know what rang bang is, all right? And option 3, cornrow. So a lot of males choose this option. I want to make it categorically clear, absolutely clear, that if you choose this option as your hairstyle, that it must be neatly groomed at all times. Remember, you would have chosen this option, so we want it to be kept neat, and it should be done downward to the back of the head, which means that you cannot have your cornrows coming to the side, you cannot have your cornrows dropping in your face, you cannot have your cornrows going up to the top of your head. It must be done going backward, just as how we have it in this photograph. And then there are others who would want to have their hair twisted or locked. And we're okay with that, as long as it is neatly groomed at all times and the twist must not be let out at any point in time. So it must not be falling over your face, it must not be falling over your ears, and it must be pulled to the back of the head. So if it is not tall enough to be pulled to the back of the head, it means that you're going to have to cornrow it or trim it to get in line. But none of the options, none of the hair standards allow you to just have your hair twisted and to be let out. So please, if you're going for twist, please ensure that it can be pulled to the back, or you can twist them to the back, but they should not be falling just let loose like that. So you see I have the X. Again, we know that the X means wrong bang. So you notice this young man, his hair is not, it's not tall enough to be pulled to the back. And so he just have it twisted. No, that is not allowed. And this other young man, you would have noticed that he has some of them drop down to the face, to the front, and then the other two in a ponytail, two ponytails. That is not allowed either. And of course, my wrong bangs continue. Plaits are not allowed. Plaits are a no, 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 no. So it's either the regular trim, it's either the afro or the puff, which is 2 inches in height, or the twist, which must not be let loose at any point in time and must be pulled to the back of the head. Plaits are a no-no. No matter how neat the plaits are not allowed. And finally, if you are a Rastafarian, we ask that you pull their hair to the back of your head. It must be fastened. I'm coming down. Sweaters or cardigans, we do allow those because the rooms are AC'd and it does get cold at times. And so we allow students to wear sweaters in the classroom. Remember, we're a uniformed university, so you cannot be parading on the campus in a sweater. So we allow it to be worn in the classroom. You're not allowed to wear it to school because we must see when you're coming through the gate that you're in your uniform. And of course, we don't want any sweater with any graffiti, no Nike sign, no weed sign, no gun sign, nothing of the sort. Your sweaters, cardigans, they are supposed to be plain, no pullovers. So it means that it must be either a zip or a button front. And the colors are, let me zoom the screen, black, burgundy, blue, or gray are the allowed colors. Persons may be wondering where they can get the accessories that I showed you in the first slide, which is the epaulette, insignia, belt, and name tag. Those are sold here, and the package cost is $6,100. All right, so all of the accessories are sold here. There are 2 providers that we have that make our uniforms. I am going to share the numbers of the providers in the chat when I'm finished, in case you want to start the process. You would, however, get that in your package from the Student Services desk when you come to register. But there may be persons who want to go ahead and get that information. So I'm going to be sharing that information in the chat as soon as I'm finished. And so as I close, I want to leave one final thought with you. If I were to place 2 bottles of water before you, as you can see on the screen, one in a plain container and one in a polished, professionally presented container, and I say to most persons in a room, you can go ahead and choose a bottle of water. Many persons would naturally assume that the one that carries greater value, even if it's the same content inside, probably most persons would choose the posh bottle. Why? Because presentation for us as human beings, it influences our perception. So let me be very clear. Appearance alone, we know that does not define your worth, your intelligence, or your character. However, the way you present yourself can influence opportunities, first impressions, and the level of confidence others may place in you even before you speak. So at the CMU, we believe in excellence, not only in academics, but also in presentation, conduct, and professionalism. So as you begin this new journey with us, I want to encourage you that when you get this uniform, that you wear it with pride, that you carry yourself with confidence, and always strive to represent the best version of yourself. Thank you and welcome to the CMU family.
And thank you very much, Mrs. Hilton Hibbert, Dean of Discipline here at the Caribbean Maritime University, for that presentation. I love the end with the 2 bottles of water. Very practical example there. So having heard from Mrs. Hilton Hibbert, again, you can add questions to the chat. You can ask questions as you go along as well. I'm going to turn over now to Mr. Mark Lee, who is Manager of Business Process and User Experience in the Office of Digital Transformation. I'll ask him to share his screen in the meantime, and he will do his presentation, and then I'll come back and we'll start the question and answer period.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon. Good morning, everyone. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. I'm hearing you clearly.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. So my name is Mark Lee, and I am the manager for business processes and user experience, which is in the Office of Digital Transformation. And I'd first like to start by welcoming you all to CMU and to this session. Now that we have gone through the do's and the don'ts and the regulations according to our dean, now it's time to take a look at digital transformation, the office, what are the services that we offer to the students, how we connect with the students, and how can the students receive resolution and troubleshooting. Okay, so the Digital Transformation Office has 3 main units. Mr. Gordon will be sharing the presentation, so you will have time to go through and read in depth as to what they are. Now, the 3 units are business processes and user experience. That's one. The second is the information technology infrastructure and information security unit. And the third, the solutions development and the research department. It forms a triangle. And at the top of this triangle, we have the business processes and user experience unit. At the top of this triangle, this is the point through which all stakeholders, whether you're a student or a staff or a vendor, whoever you are, in order to communicate with the Office of Digital Transformation, we travel through the business processes and user experience unit. The information technology infrastructure unit, they take care of our networking, our internet, our computer labs, our simulations, while the solution development and research department takes care of the software that is loaded on these systems or on these equipment. The business process unit takes care of the incoming requests. We take care of the training and all the information and communication coming in and out of the division. No.
So a quick question, Mr. Lee. Are you gonna the presentation you're sharing it on screen as well in the meantime?
I am. Is it not being visible?
Oh no, we're not seeing it.
Okay, let me get that sorted out. Thank you very much for that, Sir Archibald.
Yeah, seeing it now.
Seeing it now. Perfect. So quick recap. This is the opening page. And we're just giving you the overview, the triangular view of what the Office of Digital Transformation is and what each unit does. And so if you have an issue with something software related, or you think you have an issue with a computer that you're using in a computer lab, whichever angle it is from, you're going to be approaching the Office of Digital Transformation through the business process and user experience unit. We are located above the nurse's office, which is towards the harbor. It's in between the car park inside the school and our dock. So there's a 2-story building and we are located on the top floor. However, we will provide you later on in my presentation with an avenue that you can virtually contact us. You don't have to physically be on the campus or physically visit our office to have troubleshooting done for whatever issues you may be experiencing. All right, so now that we all have a view of the hierarchical view of the Office of Digital Transformation, now it's time to speak about the key or the essential or the critical systems, platforms that you will be using throughout the entire course of your academic journey or your academic career. And we'll start with the first one, which you have already begun to interface with, and this is called our SRS, or Student Records System. What is this system? This is the system that keeps a track of your entire school footprint or your university footprint from the moment of application until you have graduated. And so this platform will have an application portal. It will have an examination portal. It will have an area where you can create requests for exception courses, and you will learn a lot more about that as we get on into the Getting Ready series. It also allows you to view your grades, not just for the current semester, but the entirety of your grades, and so you'll be able to view your academic process, or progress rather. You'll also be able to request certified documents. For example, one may require a transcript or a letter from the school, and these applications or requests are done via this portal. So this is the one-stop shop for holding your information and interacting with the other facets or areas of the university outside of academics. So what would that look like? The registry, where you request those documents, examinations, treasury, those information and that information and that footprint is held in this space. So it's very important. How do we use this space? Well, in order to use it, you would require to be registered naturally. And when you are registered, you will be given an email address. That email address is your username throughout the entirety of the school. So let me give you an example. My name is Mark Lee. And let's say I have a common name. Mark Lee is a common name. My username, which is also my student email address, would be mlee, and if I'm the first person here with that username, mlee at stu.cmu.edu.jn. If you're able to see the arrow or my mouse on the screen, I'm highlighting it here where on the right-hand side of the image, you can see the login information. Now, once you've gained access to the SRS, as it is affectionately called, abbreviatedly, the navigation is pretty straightforward. We have a navigation column, and then we have on that navigation column, you can see your information. You have an inbox for any and every message that have been sent to you, your grades, the courses that you are registered for. You're able to produce, I would say produce, to print your exam card or to officially create a document request. And so these are listed on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right, you'll see the information that is specific to you, what faculty you're in, what program you're doing, your ID number, and you're able to log out from that top right-hand corner. Currently, it's blocked out. You see a black rectangle in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's where you will see your name or your username, and you're able to access your profile. Now, if we were to look at the next, change screen, here we go. So in our basic information, which is accessed from the navigation bar, let's go back here. As you can see, my info, and this shows you everything that relates to you, the student. Is specific to you. Your personal details are there. You need to check them over to ensure that they are correct, and you're able to request that they are updated in the event that something has changed. So your address or a telephone number, that sort of stuff. But in this area, you're able to see what your GPA is looking like. If there are any holds on your account, whether it is a financial hold or an academic hold, and we'll learn more about those stuff. So in this basic area, this is the first thing that you'd want to check out. Once you're fully registered and you've been given access to the platform, ensure that your information is correct. Throughout the course of your academic lifetime, here at CMU, at the beginning of each semester and at the end of each semester, you'll be required to visit this portal to create your pre-registration for the upcoming academic year and upcoming semester. And we'll have a lot of content and information that we'll put out through the marketing channels to show you how that is done, to guide you through that process. So the first software or platform that we cover is called SRS. And again, SRS holds all your information as it pertains to your grades, your personal information like your address, your TRN, that sort of stuff is held there. And yes, it is held in accordance with our country's Data Protection Act. So there is no, the way that we secure your information, we keep it local so that foreign companies, foreign countries aren't able to take hold of that information. Now we're going to move on to our second system. And this one is one that you'll be interacting with a lot more frequently than the SRs. This is called our LMS. LMS stands for Learning Management System. And the one that we use is called Moodle. Now, a quick overview. Moodle is the most widely used LMS worldwide, and for good reason. It has a lot of support by the developers as well as the community that uses it. And because of that, there is literally nothing better, in our opinion, to facilitate our learning management or to conduct learning management on CMU's online space. So now, what is this LMS and how do we access it? In the lower right-hand corner, you'll be able to see the URL, which is e-learning.cmu.edu.jm. No, you do not need to write this down right now. You'll be given an email with a welcome letter to this site closer to the opening of school. So closer to the academic year starting, you'll be getting your email, and this is to your student email. And this will have your login information, which is your email address, your student email address, and the password that you've set up to access the SRS. Now we have a single sign-on right across these platforms. So the password and username that you use for the system that I showed you before is the one that you would use here. So for me, it would be emily@stu.cmu.edu.jm. Now, once I've gained access to the platform, so once I've logged in, what it will look like is that I'll be brought to my dashboard. And the dashboard is my personalized space. On this dashboard, I'll be able to see the courses that I've recently accessed. And if there are any assignments, quizzes, any requirements that has, or any activity or resource that may have a timeline on it, that will pop up in the top right hand, as well as at the top on the center, top center of your screen. So what do we use this learning management platform to do? Well, it's very similar to what you would have experienced if you were going to school during COVID, when you were at home, and in most cases, they would have used Google Classroom or Moodle. This is exactly the same functionality, just a different interface. So you're going to be getting quizzes on this platform. And let me tell you from now, don't get any bright ideas. Read the quizzes or your assignments, because some of the integrations that I can share with you, others have been asked not to. But there are a myriad of ways that we police this site. And what you mean by police the site, Mr. Lee? I mean, we have Turnitin attached to any assignment that you submit. And what is Turnitin? Turnitin is a plagiarism tracker that reads your document to pick up whether or not the information in the document was copied verbatim from another source, meaning that the work that was produced is not original. And the plagiarism tracker that we have also has an AI mode integrated into it. So the cut and paste from ChatGPT into a Word document back into some other document that you're going to submit, we will catch it. There are rules. I am not the right person to share, but I can direct you where to find that information. There are rules that govern the repercussions or the consequences of cheating or plagiarism or using AI to do your work. And it can be found in the student handbook, and I'm sure student services will share, exactly what the ramifications of such things are. So I'm saying this to you to say that even though some of it you will see it, there's a lot that's running in the background that you won't see. So produce your own work so that you're not banned from school or suspended from school. You're not wasting your money and stuff like that. All right, so let me show you a little bit more about this learning management platform. All right, when you see it on your screen again, you have your recently accessed course in the middle column. If you haven't accessed the course for the first time, then it will be below. You can change that tab to new courses, or you can search for your course. Once you've accessed the course, the course will be populated with your course outline, lecture notes, additional resources, and in some spaces or in some cases, it will have a web conferencing link. The web conferencing link normally would be used by our part-time students because they do online classes, but you may have a hybrid modality for some classes later on down in your academic career where the teacher has you doing live lectures virtually. It could be that they are in a different country, maybe Trinidad or wherever, or they're at a port and they want to show you what is happening in the port, but they can't bring all of us to the port. So we're in the class and we use a web conferencing platform to see what's happening at that port or at that wharf or where. All right, let me speed it up a little bit. So if you were to click into your course, what you would see is that on the left-hand side, very similar to the SRS platform, we have a navigation bar. The navigation bar will show you categories within your course and subcategories within that course. So that's one way to traverse the course, by using the navigation bar on the left-hand side. Alternatively, you could just use your mouse and, sorry, I was scrolling as if it was a screen I should scroll, but you could use your mouse and animation vertical down. On an area, it will bring you into that specific folder or that specific category. So if you're looking on the screen now, you're seeing general folders, that's the one, but it has a breakdown. And if you look, you see final exams and the different units below. And you can click through those. Now, what is key to note is that this platform tracks your entire progress. And why is this important? If you are to log in, we're going to be able to tell you when you're logged in, how long you're logged in for, what you looked at. And if you are having issues with our course, the issues will pop up in our logs as well. And why is Mr. Lee saying this? So that you don't waste your time and your lecturers' time by telling them that the platforms are working, because they will know they have access to the platform, and so they have access to the logs as well. So save the effort to actually utilizing the platform and the crazy benefits that we have integrated into the platform. We have a lot of gamified plugins and resources that will actually make doing your work easier. Spend the effort there instead of spending time trying to figure out how to beat the system, because that's where we spend most of our time. All right, and if you are able to beat the system, more than likely you will be able to get a working ODT. All right, moving on to the final platform or system that you're going to be exposed to, and this is our help desk. So the help desk platform is web-based, and as you're seeing on your screen, this is a snippet of what the help desk looks like. You can access it at help.cmu.edu.jm. All of these sites are accessible via CMU's website. So if you go on our website, you'll see the list of our platforms, and you can access whether the LMS, the SRS, or the help desk. Now, let me quickly bring you through what our help desk is like for students. If you're looking on the screen, before you even begin to create a ticket, you should just type what your issue is. So if you have a password issue and you were to type in this area, right underneath where it says, hello, how can we help? If you were to type password, a bunch of articles would populate and they would suggest. It's a suggestion, basically, of articles that could guide you through resolving the problem on your own. Why is this important? I know you like help, but some of us like to get things done really quick, and you wouldn't like to join a queue of persons who are having issues waiting to get them resolved. So if you are able to help yourself and you just don't know how to, then by visiting the issue you have, to guide you on how to do that. Now, if you were to type in the help desk day password and you didn't see anything, don't think that tomorrow it's going to be the same, because it's a live knowledge base that we are populating every day, not just ODT, but all the different departments that you interact with. So the Treasury is putting information in there to guide you. The Registry is putting information in there to guide you. Academics is putting information in there to guide you. So if Student Services as well, naturally. And so if you want help, search first before you create a ticket, because chances are there is some article or some document that will guide you on how to resolve it. If it is that you're not able to resolve the issue on your own, then you go ahead and you create a ticket. And if you were to create a ticket, you do that by clicking on submit a ticket. When you click on submit a ticket, it's going to ask you to pick the specific category. Now, what do you mean by category, Mr. Lee? We're talking about the department, but not just the department. There are subcategories within each department. So let's go through an example. The Treasury has multiple units within the Treasury. They have a billing and receivables unit. And within that billings and receivable unit, they have different functions. So for argument's sake, if you wanted to get some assistance from the Treasury regarding a transcript, you want to pay for a transcript and you need some help, the first step would be to type, I want a transcript in the article area. And both the Treasury's article on transcript will come up, as well as the registry's article and transcript, and you would read those and figure out what to do. But if, for argument's sake, there is some issue, you made the request, it's not coming through, and you want to create a ticket, please ensure that you're picking the right subcategory, not just Treasury and any category of Treasury, but the specific one, billings. And then inside billings, there's one that says transcript. So you would click on transcript for billings and receivables. Once you've done the selection and input your name and your email address, then you just write what the issue is about, and it will send that ticket to that specific department, and it will give you an email to your student email address to say that, hey, your ticket has been sent, and the guidelines surrounding that ticket will reside in that email, in the body of that email. So what does that mean? It means that when you want to check out what is happening on your ticket that you've created, you want to find out, hey, what is happening with my issue of transcripts. You can either visit your email to click on the ticket, and there's a link there, and it will bring you right back to the help desk, and then you can read all the information that's being occurring on your ticket. Or you could visit the help desk and input the ticket number or your email address to bring up your existing tickets. The division, this is ODT, is in the process of upgrading this help desk even more. And that will reduce the turnaround time for resolutions of your tickets and so forth. But if you have issues, this is where you come. If you are going to be doing your schoolwork, you're going to be visiting the MS. And if you are looking for your grades or registration details, you'll be going to the SRS. All three systems can be accessed via our website. All right. And in order to log into these two, you won't be able to log into the help desk. But in order to log into your learning management platform or your student record system, it is your school email address. And the password is the same right across there. No. Before I close, there is a couple other things that we want to speak about. And one of them would be the emails and your IDs. I'm not sure if you're going to be asking questions about those, but let me preempt those questions and go ahead by saying, one, as it relates to the IDs, we are currently collecting the information and the pictures to create the IDs. And so you will be getting the IDs closer to the beginning of the academic year. Right now, what we're doing is collecting the information to be placed on those IDs. In a similar fashion, the email addresses, the email accounts will be created closer to the beginning of the academic year. And that is for good reason, internal reasons, but you will be getting access. Your personal email address will not suffice for communication between yourself and the university. Let me repeat that again. Your personal email address will not suffice. You could send us we can't respond to it. Once we've created a student email address for you, that is the only space that we will be sending emails to. This is very important that you manage that space very well. It's also very important that as soon as you gain access to that space, you change your passwords, because the default passwords will be able to be figured out by your classmates after a year or two. Change them immediately. So that takes care of the email. In regards to the IDs, as I said, as later on in the semester, we'll be able to issue your IDs as well as issue the email accounts. Further information can be accessed or garnered via our website, or you can interact with us even now via the help desk at help.cmu.edu.jm. On behalf of the wider CMU, Office of Digital Transformation, wants to say thank you for choosing CMU. You're really smart. You picked a bespoke school with bespoke subjects, bespoke courses, meaning custom courses, unique courses that aren't offered anywhere else. We are all about Blue Ocean strategy, and we just want to say thank you for choosing us. We wish you all the best, and just to let you know that we will do our best to support you from the start of your academic career to beyond, even beyond when you finish here, even when you become a part of our alumni, as I am also a part of the Caribbean Maritime University alumni. So I can tell you, as both staff and past student, you've made a great choice, and we will ensure that the choice that you've made will be a fruitful one in your future. Thank you all very much on behalf of the Office of Digital Transformation.
All right, so thank you everybody, and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon.